Hi everyone and welcome to the weekly update with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Hantech Markets. Each week I take you through the key events that I believe will be driving your investments in the coming days. Now, Iraq and the tensions with the militants seems to be high up on the agenda for investor risk concerns at the moment. Now, this is certainly manifesting itself in an increase in volatility in equity markets, and certainly the improvement in the risk appetite gauge, or the VIX index, has certainly reflected this correction that we've seen in equity markets recently. Also, you've seen that the gold price has been rallying as well. But in moving into Tuesday, it looks like these two factors are beginning to just turn around slightly, with equity markets finding a bit of support and gold beginning to come off again. Now, the key event I think that will be driving investors this week will be this FOMC meeting on Wednesday. Certainly after Mark Carney last week gave an indication that possibly interest rates were going to be rising in the UK sooner than the market had been anticipating, has given investors a little bit of potential gauge for maybe some movement in the Fed as well, whether potentially Janet Yellen will allude to that in her press conference. And that's what the investors will be looking out for, some sort of hawkish comments. And that could certainly move these markets in the middle of the week. Now, the FX markets, how is the dollar index reacting to this? Well, the dollar index has been pulling lower in the last few days, and that's reacted to the Mark Carney comments, but certainly today it's been starting to find a bit of support again. And it's nicely back into the pivot level between 80.4 and 80.6, and I believe that that is a possible buying area for the dollar. Now, how is that manifesting itself on euro dollar? Well, euro dollar is back up and testing a key resistance area at $1.3585, and that is the beginning of a support band which comes up between there and $1.3670. Now, in terms of cable's battering its head against $1.70. Now, that is a key multi-year high level on the sterling dollar, and it's now really testing it, but it's just begun to fail a little bit of momentum, and also this UK inflation data that came out on Tuesday morning is certainly not going to help that. And if the US inflation this afternoon comes in better than expected, or around about 2%, which is where the market is anticipating, then you could see cables starting to come lower again. In terms of dollar yen, that's trading around about this key pivot level at 102 big figure once again. Now, that is coming in round about in the middle of the trading band between 100.80 to 102.80. And I think that therefore you see dollar yen in a bit of a neutral configuration at the moment, and it's difficult to call it either way. Okay, so on indices, you've seen these equity markets, as I said earlier, come off and correct in the last few days. However, you would certainly say that the S&P 500 remains in bullish configuration, and the trends are all positive, and this could even be a nice buying opportunity. It's looking to form support around that 1926 mark. In terms of the DAX, similar sort of story really. It's found support nicely above the 9,810 support, and it's now looking to build once again. Now, the FTSE is a different story. The FTSE is a big underperformer of all these indices, and it's now completed also a top pattern, which completed below the 6,782 mark, which actually gives us an implied downside target of about 100 points. So it could now see some further underperformance, I think, against the other indices. So where's gold looking at the moment? Well, as I said, gold had been on a nice rally in recent days, and it's come up towards, once again, the 144-day moving average, which for a long time has been a very good gauge of price for the gold price. Now, there's also key resistance around 1278 as well for the price. So these double resistance areas suggest that perhaps that is the limit, maybe in the immediate term for this gold price, and maybe it's going to start to come off again. Okay, so where are we looking at for the rest of the week in terms of economic announcements? Well, as I said, on Tuesday afternoon, you've got the US inflation data, which certainly if it comes in at 2%, it will start to give Janet Yellen something to think about in terms of possible hawkish moves from the Fed. And also then on Wednesday, you've got the Bank of England meeting minutes, and then that Fed meeting on Wednesday evening, which the market will be certainly majorly focused on. On Thursday, we're looking at the SNB, the Swiss National Bank, gives its monetary policy, and also on Thursday you've got the UK retail sales, and we round off the week with Canadian inflation on Friday. So as I said, the major focus we're looking at this week is going to be these FOMC announcements and Janet Yellen's press conference as well. So I wish you good luck in your trading throughout this week, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, my handle is @HandTechRich, and until next week I wish you good luck in your trading, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.